detection. And joining us in the studio physically today are Mr. John Akinola, Head of Programs at Adewumi Desalu's Parkinson Foundation, ADPF, if I'm right?
Yeah, very right.
And we have social therapist Olayinka Tejumola of the Adewumi Desalu's Parkinson Foundation, ADPF.
Nice to be here.
Alright, it's a pleasure having you here in the studio this morning. And so this foundation is Nigeria's leading non-profit organization dedicated to improving the lives of people living with Parkinson's disease and supporting their caregivers. Established in the memory of Chief Adewumi Desalu, the foundation provides free multidisciplinary and rehabilitation services, including psychotherapy, speech and handwriting therapy. And once again, thank you and good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. But I think for the listeners, I would actually appreciate if you introduce yourselves once more.
Okay. I think there was a mix of.
Yeah.
Okay. My name is PT, physiotherapist Peace Erima Akuma, and I'm a physiotherapist at the Adewumi Desalu Parkinson Foundation. And I'm so happy to be here today.
All right. And
All right, good morning, listeners.
Good morning.
My name is John Akinola. I head the programs at the Adewumi Desalu Parkinson's Foundation.
So to begin, what is Parkinson's disease and why is it important for Nigerians to have a better understanding of this condition?
Okay. I want to first start by saying that Parkinson's disease is not contagious. Parkinson's disease is not contagious. Let me say it the third time. Parkinson's disease is not contagious. Now, what is Parkinson's disease? Parkinson's disease is a neurodegenerative disorder. And by neurodegenerative, I mean that it affects the brain and it is progressive. When I say it is neurological, it means it either affects the brain or the spinal cord. Now, coming to Parkinson's disease, it affects the brain and the dopamine production aspects of the brain. And this dopamine is a hormone, and it is very important because it affects our emotions, it affects smooth movement, the running of smooth movement. So that is why it is very, very important that we know about Parkinson's disease. Why it is very important that Nigerians should know about Parkinson's disease? Another reason is because of the stigma around Parkinson's disease. There's a whole lot of stigma, to the extent that it can even lead to the death of the patient. That's how bad it can be. Yeah, so that is why we are here to inform you and to teach you more about the Parkinson's disease.
Okay, so many people associate Parkinson's disease only with tremors. What are some of the early warning signs that people often overlook?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much. It is important for us to know that Parkinson's disease, number one, does not have a cure yet. We only manage Parkinson's disease through medication and rehabilitative care like physical exercises. So coming to some of the symptoms and early other signs of Parkinson's, it's not just tremors. Some people call it the shaky disease, but it's not just the shaky disease. There are other aspects of Parkinson's which has to do with slow movement. Some people have slow movement, some people have dragging of their feet. So I want to break it down so that I don't use the technical terms, so that every listener can be able to understand what it is. Some people cannot swing their arms the way others, when you are walking, some people's arms are just staying by their side. They are unable to swing their hands. Some people's face, when you say something that is funny, they are not laughing.
Yes.
They have a masked face. Those are some of the symptoms of Parkinson's disease. And of course, we have tremors, we have rigidity, all of those things. There are other aspects of Parkinson's which we call non-motor symptoms. And this one, they are not visible for us to see.
To see.
Like constipation, having frequent constipation,
Oh.
having insomnia. You understand? Also, people that find it difficult, to or they have they act their dream in their dreams.
Okay.
When somebody is sleeping and you see the person having dream enactment, that's another a sign of Parkinson's disease. Also having depression, consistent depression, you not being able to function the way others are functioning. Those are some of the early signs that we need to look out for the symptoms of Parkinson's disease.
So Mr. Akinola, do we have a clear picture of how common Parkinson's is in Nigeria, and what do the numbers suggest as our population continues to age?
Thank you very much for that question. If you look at the population of people we have between the ages of maybe 20 to 30 or 40, it's a large population compared to the number of people that were in that age range in the last maybe 10 years or 15 years. And Parkinson's disease is common with people from age 50 and above. That doesn't mean we don't have young onset or early onset Parkinson's. Maybe at age 20, they start presenting with symptoms, or at age 30 or 40, we call it early onset Parkinson's.
Okay.
For all of these age groups, it is important for us to know that the awareness in Nigeria is very limited. That is why we cannot specifically say this is the number of people that have Parkinson's in Nigeria. Because a lot of people mistake Parkinson's for old age, for other things. They also have Parkinson's, comes with its myths and misconceptions. People believe that Parkinson's is like witchcraft, that you are receiving you are receiving an attack from a spiritual attack from somebody, or maybe as a result of what you have done in time past, you are getting the result of it. So, there are so many myths, stigma around Parkinson's, and that is why it is important for us to understand, the numbers are growing because we have a population that is growing into a certain, age.
Yes.
And going by the number of people that come to the center, the Ado Medical Parkinson Center, we are seeing it's an upward rise of inquiry, requests, calling us out, reaching out to us to understand, what symptoms they are having. And most of them are coming out with Parkinson's.
Okay, so now my next question, let me address it to physiotherapist Olayinka. Now, we have many cases of this Parkinson's disease, yes, and which goes undiagnosed until later stages. Now, do you think it is lack of awareness, limited specialists, or cultural attitude towards illness?
Okay, yeah. Lack of awareness, definitely, because there are a lot of people that attribute Parkinson's to aging. And in our foundation, we have the youngest member is below 30 years of age.
Okay.
So, and there are a lot of people within the different age groups.
Okay.
So, we want to let everyone know that Parkinson is not just for old people. Although it is a risk factor, the older someone gets, the more the person is predisposed to have Parkinson's. So the second thing is the stigma surrounding Parkinson's. That's why it's not diagnosed. So when people start seeing the symptoms, they prefer to withdraw because, like you said, spiritual attacks, right?
Yes.
And you know how our communities are. They will say your village people.
Yes.
And all that. So people, they would prefer to withdraw. They will not want to go for social gatherings. They will not even want to go to see an expert because of the stigma surrounding Parkinson's disease. Another reason why it is undiagnosed is because of financial issues.
Okay.
People don't have the money to see experts. And aside that, the experts are even really scarce. That's the healthcare professionals, neurologists, physiotherapists, speech therapists. they are really scarce. Maybe because of Japa syndrome and
Maybe.
every other thing, but these are the reasons why Parkinson's disease is really undiagnosed.
So who is most vulnerable to developing Parkinson, and what lifestyle or environmental factors actually increases the risk?
Okay, the people most vulnerable are the older persons,
So
from
that's to
60
say
years
that
and above. But that's not to say that
Younger
younger
ones.
persons don't get Parkinson's disease.
Okay.
Okay, then aside that, environmental factors like inhalation of chemicals, all these industrial chemicals, smoke, pesticides, insecticides, all those things predispose people to Parkinson's disease. Another very vital one is trauma. That is like accident, trauma to the brain. You hit your head, maybe due to an accident, or like there was a patient of mine that has was used to domestic violence.
Wow.
So all this leads to Parkinson's disease.
Okay. So what are some of those symptoms aside? You said maybe like you're having a nightmare or something. What are some of other symptoms?
Okay, thank you very much. Some other symptoms that we have are handwriting. We call it micrographia. When your handwriting becomes very small, you can't even sign your signature again. And some people have loss of smell. They develop loss of smell. Some people, like I said, rigidity. When you see that your leg is as if your leg is glued to the floor, you cannot lift your leg.
Your legs.
Yeah, some people have to be dragging their legs while they want to move, and all of that, it's pointing to the fact that the muscles are being affected, and these are some of the signs that we should look out for Parkinson's disease. Some other people have poor balancing. They have frequent falls. Some people sometimes they cannot stand straight. They have stoop posture. They are bending over, and some people, because they cannot even have that balance, they tend to fall when they move around. And we have other, it affects the voice because, as we're speaking now,
Okay.
our muscles in the voice have the ability to put together the way we pronounce words.
Okay.
Some people's voice, when they have Parkinson's, it becomes very,
Hard.
very low.
Oh.
So you find it difficult to hear them. The voice goes low. So these are some of the common
So
symptoms.
when it comes to the symptoms of Parkinson, does it differ in age?
As we grow old, our body also, our muscles and every aspect of our body grows old with us. So that is why, I would say this. Let me say this like P.T. Peace has said it. Parkinson's is not a death sentence. It is not a death sentence, and the reason why is because a lot of people feel that once you have Parkinson's, because there is no silver bullet that cures it. So that's the end of life. What I want to say is because when you have the symptoms of Parkinson's, it can be managed, and if it is properly managed, you can be able to live longer. But for people that are diagnosed late,
Okay.
it is important for us to understand that the way they are going to manage Parkinson's is going to be different from people that are diagnosed early. Because at the later part of our age, a lot of the body has been is already winding down. Your muscles are no longer as strong as, the way you are active now, maybe at your 20, 30, 40 years, 50 years, you will not be as active as such when you get to 80 years. So assuming somebody is diagnosed maybe at 70.
Okay.
The way he or she is going to manage Parkinson's is different from somebody that is diagnosed early.
Yes.
Because at that point in time, the muscle is already winding down, and the person will have to struggle through the therapy, to be able to manage the symptoms.
So what realistic treatments and rehabilitation options exist in Nigeria today?
Okay, so there are various rehabilitation, what did you say? Sorry.
Rehabilitation options.
Options,
Yes.
options. There are various rehabilitation options. Use of medications
Okay.
prescribed by your neurologist, no other person. Not yourself, not your friend, not your prescribed by a neurologist. So also physical therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy, there are two others. That's nutritional therapy. Let me put it as therapy too. And then there's also well, there are a lot of them.
Okay, so beyond this, the drugs and the therapy you just
The
mentioned.
drug is just one of the many other options
Yes,
we
ma'am.
have. Yes.
So now the therapies you mentioned,
Yes.
how powerful are they? I mean, the therapies like the physiotherapy, speech therapy, exercise, and counseling in helping patients with this Parkinson's disease.
Okay, it is very important because why the drugs are helping to curb the symptoms that are already obvious. Physical therapy and the other therapies, occupational therapy, the psychological therapy and all that, it helps to manage the decline, to reduce the rate at which the progression occurs.
Okay.
Yes, so that's it. So while you're doing drug therapy, you just have to do the others, not just drug therapy. You're trying to manage the symptoms you're seeing now, and you're trying to prevent it from progressing to something else.
Okay. So that's to say you're preventing it. That still doesn't mean that there's a cure for it, just like I said
No,
earlier.
there's no cure. We only manage it.
You
And
manage
I
it.
want to add something. I forgot to add that genetics plays one of the
Oh,
big
wow.
factors. So if
Okay.
you have a relative that has Parkinson's disease,
You're born to have it too.
let's not put it that way.
Okay.
Let's just say you should be careful.
Not to
You
have
should
it.
watch for it. Do you understand? So when if you have a relative, maybe your nuclear family, extended family that has Parkinson's, you should
Okay.
be careful. You should watch for it. And so because of that genetic makeup, we have different genetic makeups. So the rate of progression is different from individuals. So even though we say older persons, younger persons, the younger person may even progress faster than an older person. So
I
that's
get it. Now, families often carry the burden of care, yes? What unique challenges do caregivers face, and what kind of support system are urgently needed?
Thank you very much. It is important for us to know that Parkinson's, in the management of Parkinson's, we have multidisciplinary and intradisciplinary team.
Okay.
And caregivers play a major role because when you look at all the symptoms of Parkinson's, everything points at rigidity, not being able to function the way somebody has been functioning before. And that aspect of, functionality really affects the everyday life of the person. And that is why the caregiver is needed. For people that are without caregiver, we have seen it at the center, they have difficulties in managing the symptoms of Parkinson's.
Wow.
But people with caregivers, they have the opportunity, the caregiver is there to assist with certain things. While if the caregiver is not around, waking up in the middle of the night, taking your medication, reminder of certain things that you need to do, assistance in moving, crossing a particular part of the house, so many things. So the caregiver plays a major role in the management of Parkinson's. Without having a caregiver, it's like you are swimming in a big sea without a boat. You understand that kind of thing?
Yes.
It's like there's nothing you can do, you just have to. So it is important for caregivers to be involved, and not just caregivers, like the physiotherapists has rightly said, we need the physiotherapists, the occupational therapist, the nutritionist, everybody in the care ecosystem, all of them plays a major role. For the caregiver, which could be either a professional caregiver or a family member, most of the time, family members are the ones that that take up that responsibility. Sometimes we have spouses that take up the responsibility of caring, and some of them, start caring without even knowing what to do. You understand? Yeah, they just take up the role, like, because they found out that their spouse has Parkinson's, and they started caring for, without, and that's one of the things we do at the Adeomi Medesalo Parkinson's Foundation. We reorientate the caregiver, we train caregivers, we also train the people with Parkinson's, because once you have a disease, it doesn't mean that you know everything about the disease.
Yes.
And you need to understand some of the evidence-based strategies or therapies that can help you slow down the progression of the disease.
So just like what your enterprise does, Adeomi,
Our foundation.
your foundation, Adeomi Medesalo Parkinson Foundation.
Yeah.
Now let's take this down to other sectors in the country. Now, how can healthcare professionals, when it comes to professionals, community leaders, and even the media work together to break the silence of this and then increase awareness of Parkinson's disease?
So we just had a walk last week Saturday. It's part of our awareness program. The Adeomi Medesalo Parkinson's Foundation, we organize various awareness programs because we know that if we want to achieve even the data that gives us the number of people with Parkinson's, then we need to be very, very intentional when it comes to awareness. We organize our symposium. The symposium is where we bring in stakeholders to know more about Parkinson's. We work the health system. We have rallies. The rally is part of what we did last Saturday, which is the walk we had. It's a 2-kilometer walk where we engage the Parkinson's community also. We also have something we call walking football.
Wow.
Walking football, you walk, you play the ball. You understand? So it's a game that is now, incorporated into the therapy for people with Parkinson's. Some people love playing football.
Yes.
And I had some of the presenters talking about asthma and certain of people. Yeah, sometimes when they go to a certain age, they cannot play the normal football. They play walking football. And walking football is you walk and you kick the ball. And that therapy helps people. We also use that as an avenue to raise awareness. And this awareness is not just, just like we are here now. What we are doing is educating the public and giving them, the information they need to know about Parkinson's. If you have somebody that is presenting symptoms of Parkinson's, refer the person. Tell the person to go to the hospital. Let them see a doctor. You understand? All of these we put together as, awareness program. We also conduct outreaches to, maybe that there's an event going on somewhere and they need us to come and talk to people about Parkinson's. We go to some of these mini events, talk about Parkinson's. We coordinate generally with every care ecosystem in the country to see how we can, raise awareness about Parkinson's. We organize webinars. We do a lot of online, social media campaigns on Parkinson's.
So now this is to say that there are people that have no idea about Parkinson. No, they don't even know the symptoms of Parkinson. Now this is just to say if you're having any slight, related, maybe you just have to quickly go to the hospital to seek for medical attention. All right, now let me ask another question to the physiotherapists we have in the house. Now, what are the biggest gaps in Nigeria's Parkinson care system? Is it funding, infrastructure, or trained specialists?
Okay, like I said before, we don't have enough trained specialists on ground now. We have low awareness, then the issue of late diagnosis, because people don't go to the hospital when they notice a symptom. Because most times these symptoms are, like you said, they are non-motor and they are motor symptoms. Most times these non-motor symptoms that you are the one feeling it, your family members are not seeing it.
Yes.
Most times these non-motor symptoms, they arise way before the motor symptoms arise. Do you get? So the non-motor symptoms, just like constipation, sleeplessness,
As little as that.
as little as that. You think
Wow.
it's little, but it is not.
It is
little.
not.
Yeah, some people lost. They have this loss of smell. It has happened. There are some people who say over 10 years ago, 15 years ago. These are the signs that we should look out for, and it is better you see a neurologist. You go to the hospital, you be referred to a neurologist. You go there and you complain to them. Don't take any symptom lightly. Don't take it lightly. Even depression, loss of motivation to do things is also a symptom of Parkinson's. So aside that, like I said, high cost of rehabilitation services. These are just some of the gaps we experience in Nigeria.
So, how is your organization, Adeomi Desalo Parkinson's Foundation, how is it contributing to awareness, advocacy, and improved access to quality care for Nigerians living with Parkinson's?
All right, let me take on that. Like
Okay.
I rightly mentioned, that we organize various outreaches.
Outreaches.
Yeah, just to raise awareness, to sensitize the public about Parkinson's. But narrowing it down to how we provide care. Our center is a purpose-built center
Okay.
that has low impact gym. We call it low impact gym. Low impact gym because everything there is not high impact. It's just when you go to certain places, you see people carrying weights like
Yes.
they need to break that. So what we're doing is low impact. We have dance studio, we have non-contact boxing, which helps people with balancing, people with Parkinson's with balancing. We have also overcoming micrographia, the handwriting classes. We also provide psychosocial support for people through support groups at the center. Now, every other program that we do is tailored towards slowing down the progression of the disease. So our center and our program, we are serving as a caregiver for the caregivers and the people with Parkinson's. Because sometimes some of the challenges caregivers face is burnout.
Wow.
And that is, they are stressed, they are strained because sometimes their life, they don't have a life again. They focus on the person that they are caring for. So once they come to our center, and we give them the opportunity, to have all the therapies at the center. So aside everything that I mentioned that we do, or when it comes to awareness, the social media, the outreaches, the walk, the symposium, the walking football campaign and tournaments, every of those things is also ensuring that we bring in people, create awareness, educate people about Parkinson's, reduce stigma, then dispel myths and misconceptions, because a whole lot of people believe so many things. And once you see belief system is not, you don't regulate what people believe, they will pass it on to the next generation. And people will find it difficult to even access care. And that's one of the ways we bring, accessibility to care. Yeah, but like you said at the beginning, we are more or less like the Holy Foundation doing something of this magnitude. And Parkinson's is the fastest growing neurological condition in the world, and Nigeria is the giant of Africa.
Yes.
We also have one of the largest population in Africa. Now imagine the next 10 years, the next 20 years, the next 30 years. What are we looking at? So that is why Adeomi Desalo Parkinson's Foundation exists, to care for people, to provide awareness, to sensitize people and to educate people about Parkinson's.
So now let's clear one misconception, like you said, for people that are currently listening. Now, Parkinson's disease currently has no cure, but does not lead to death,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
Because most people feel that it leads to death if you do not take proper care or proper medication for it.
Yes, it is important for us to, for if you do not get diagnosed on time, the disease can progress faster. And if the disease progresses faster, muscles shut down, your ability to swallow, your ability to move, the person becomes bedridden, that's, it's a progression. But the reason why we say it is not a death sentence is because there are therapies that can help you slow down the progression for years. There are people that have been diagnosed with Parkinson's that have lived 50 years, 40 years after diagnosis. So it is important for us to tell the public that if you have the symptoms, seek medical counsel and ensure that you engage in the therapy that can help you slow down the progression, so that all the complications that can come in from you not engaging in the therapies or taking the medication and doing all the things that is necessary will not give you the opportunity to progress, not give the disease the opportunity to progress faster than it should progress. You understand? And like the physiotherapist said, it differs with everybody. Some people it progresses faster, while some it doesn't. But your ability to be active, engage in exercise, take the medication as prescribed by the neurologist will help you slow down the progression of the disease.
So lastly, for Nigerians who notice persistent symptoms in themselves or loved ones, what practical steps should they take?
When they notice the symptoms, they should first go to the hospital and begin treatment as soon as possible, because time is very, very important in the management of Parkinson's disease. The longer you take, the faster the progression, and the body, like the disabling symptoms, may even become worse, and you will not be able to achieve your daily activities of daily living, and that will make you more like dependent on others, and that the progression goes really fast without later. That's just it.
Yeah. I would say, number one, to the general public, if you see somebody, please don't keep to yourself. Don't stigmatize anybody, because stigma can bring about withdrawal, and withdrawal can bring about faster progression of the disease. Anybody that withdraws, the disease is going to progress. You need to live your life with or without Parkinson's. And if you are diagnosed with Parkinson's or you find out you have symptoms, please reach out to your doctor, reach out to either the tertiary medical facility or even your primary. Just ensure you state all the symptoms that you are feeling. We have been able to see many symptoms here. If you find yourself in 1, 2, or 3 of these symptoms, you find yourself exhibiting 1 or 2 or 3 of these symptoms, ensure that you reach out to a medical professional, and we will try as much as possible. I believe that the medical professional know what to do. But if you feel that it is impossible for you, they are not getting the diagnosis, you can reach out to us. We create a pathway for referral with the tertiary institution, just to assist with early diagnosis. So we refer people to we are not referring you to a private hospital. We are referring you to the public hospital, registered government hospital, where we have the neurologist. They can diagnose you early, and you get your treatment started.
Okay, adding to that, when someone is diagnosed of Parkinson's disease and the whole therapy options have begun, it is necessary that we should try as a community to involve them in activities. Then, for example, your village meetings, when you're having a village meeting and then you see a Parkinson's patient there and maybe the person having slurred speech, slow tone, low tone, let's try to involve them. Let's be patient with them. Yes, because all this affects them. If we don't involve them, they'll be withdrawn, and it makes their disease progress faster.
Wow.
Okay, so let's try to involve them as much as possible. If they make decisions before the diagnosis, also try to make them do those things they used to do. Like a father who has Parkinson's disease, try to get his input too. try to make him feel involved in the whole process, and it's really going to help him in the long run. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio this morning, Mr. John Akinola, and physiotherapist Olayinka Tejumola.
Physiotherapist is Erima Kumar.
I think it's a mix of, all right. And for sharing your valuable insights on this important health issue. Thank you so much for coming today. And enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Oh yes, as Nigeria continues to strengthen its healthcare system,